This is the new R1200 GS Rallye that BMW has launched. They've brought out two versions this year. They've brought out the Exclusive, which is a touring, more luxury road-focused version. And then this is the one we're really excited, the Rallye, which is their more extreme off-road bike. Both bikes have had a bunch of changes, so you've got new suspension, new settings in the ABS, new electronics, a couple of tweaks to the gearbox. Lots and lots of small things have changed that make a bike that still feels like a GS, but a bit more refined. We're going to take these out into the mountains of Spain. We're down in southern Spain, which is kind of a home for BMW. The Exclusive we're going to take out on the mountain roads, around the hairpins, around the passes, put that new suspension to the test. And then the Rallye, we're going to get ourselves into the dried up riverbeds and hopefully get in a bit of gnarly terrain and see if the changes they've made work as well as they say. It's when you stumble across roads like this, I mean, this is a beauty, and you'd get here on a sports bike and you'd go, oh, there's potholes, gravel, the road tarmac changes, it's bumpy, and it really is roads like this that make the GS come alive. All these adventure bikes. With this new dynamic suspension on the GS, it's amazing because you used to switch between the modes a lot to get the soft on a rough road and hard. And now you just put it in dynamic or road and ride the damn thing, and you just get on with it, and it really is a bike for all situations now. The GS has all come with what they call a Pro plug. There's this little red doodah here that's on the bottom of the seat. And it just gives you a bit more customization in the modes. You can have Dynamic Pro and Enduro Pro mode. It means if you turn the ABS and traction control off, when you switch the bike off and on, they stay however you wanted them. And it also gives us a little bit more adjustment to change the engine response from whatever's default to maybe a little bit more response, maybe a little bit less. Let's give it a go. We've just finished our day's fun and shenanigans on the two new models. So for 2017, the main big change that BMW has brought out is two models. So you now have the Exclusive and the Rallye E with an extra E for more ralliness, I guess. Both bikes have a kind of raft of underlying changes to the kind of electronics and the engine and the gearbox. And then there's a few obvious options that then distinguish them from each other. You can see the Rallye itself looks pretty different. The Exclusive is more of a road-based GS. So the big changes, first and foremost, you'll notice the bodywork changes. The beak on the front of the bike has been shortened, tweaked, the fuel tank's narrower. They've tucked a few of the side panels in a bit as well. I think their big point with that is trying to make the GS more robust. So if you have a little topple or you go through a bush, you don't end up pinging and popping side panels off all over the place. You now have what they call dynamic ESA. So the old bikes had electronic suspension, which you could adjust the settings on the dash electronically. Now it's a dynamic system, so now the suspension adjusts itself. You have a semi-active. So if you hit a bump, it looks at how fast the wheel's moving and changes the damping accordingly. Same with the preload. If you put a weighty pillion on the back, it's had a few too many cakes, the bike just levels itself out and stays as it is. So you can select whether you want the bike to ride low, normal, or high. And then whatever weight you put on that bike, it straightens itself out and evens the ride height out, self-leveling really. ABS and traction control, you could hit it as an option before, but now ABS Pro comes on the bikes. So if you hit the brakes and turn, when you lean over, the ABS is still active. So it's a cornering ABS function from Bosch. Again, a little bit more security when you're barreling around unfamiliar roads. As standard, the bikes come with the safety-based traction control system. You know, it's quite a safe, simple system, but most of them will be spec'd with an option that's the dynamic traction control, where the bike really responds well. It knows how far it's leant over, it knows how hard you're driving, it knows whether you're braking, leaning, first gear, third gear, and it can react to any wheel spin or slides much faster. So another cool feature they've put on the bike is hill start control, exactly what it sounds like. Lets you start on a hill. So you stop on the hill, put the bike in neutral, give the lever a good squeeze for 3 seconds, and it locks the brakes on. The bike won't go anywhere. The exclusive model is a more road and touring based GS, so it has the dynamic suspension, the semi-active suspension. It has the quick shifter, which you can shift up and down the gearbox without the clutch, and it just blips the gears in, and it has the road-based features. We've been out riding that today, and it's a GS still. It's not changed the world. It's not completely new to the GS. It rides a lot tighter. The quick shifter, a few people have spoken to us about them over the years and said we like them, we don't like them. I like it, but it definitely isn't the slickest quick shifter system. It shifts up and down the box nicely, but if you're at maybe a constant speed and you're not quite firm with the lever, you do get a little jolt. The GS Rallye is the one that I am properly excited about. They've taken the GS and they've just turned it up to 11. They've really gone for, in all honesty, they've gone for the jugular of the KTM Adventure R, having a more extreme bike. This model as it sits here won't be every man's bike. It's not designed for taking your first steps off-road or taking your adventure across Morocco. This is designed for people who really want to buy a big bike and ride a big bike hard off-road. If you can see the height and size of the thing, so they have the rally seat now, a one-piece rally seat, which gives you a bit more room to move around. That's 15 mil higher than standard, and it works best in the high position. Again, another 10. The thing is taller and taller and taller, all aimed at making this thing awesome at riding fast off-road. That doesn't make it easier to ride, not by a long way. It's now tall, you stop, can't get your foot to the floor. It's harsh, it's stiff compared to the old bike when you're traveling slowly. But if you're someone who likes to ride hard and really push a big bike off-road, it's like a dream come true. And it really is unstoppable now. You can go so much harder and faster than the old model. Jumps, it sucks up big rocks, boulders, fast whooped out trails. The old bike would eventually get to a point where you realised you were on a big bike and it was going to bite you if you pushed any harder. This thing just keeps going and going and going. In short, the GS now they've kind of split its range. They've made an extreme version and a better touring version, and you can spec options everywhere in between. The exclusive, your luxury one, is just shy of £16,000, and the Rally is 12,730. So a random number. We've been riding this out in the hills today. It is unreal. You can just ride it so hard and fast now. The big change is the high suspension. It does feel awkward at low speed when you're trying to do slow turns, when you're in a bit of a tricky situation. My little legs only just reached the floor on the thing. It does feel a bit unwieldy, but once you start getting a bit of confidence with it, launching it off a few rocks and drop, you feel like you could ride it absolutely anywhere and as hard as you like. It doesn't feel like you're taking a big bike places it doesn't want to go. Now it feels like you're taking a big bike places and it's going, yep, more, and just encourages you to be more and more childish and hold the throttle open and spray gravel everywhere for longer and longer and longer. Fantastic machine.